I never thought I'd be writing this. Even now, sitting here with my laptop open at 2 in the morning, I can barely believe what happened. My name is Olivia, and this is the story of how my best friend of 15 years destroyed me for likes and followers, and how I made sure she paid for every single one of them. I met Jessica when we were both 13 years old, awkward middle schoolers trying to navigate the hellscape of adolescence. She was the new girl, sitting alone at lunch on her first day, and I was the quiet kid who always had an empty seat next to me. I don't know what made me walk over to her that day. Maybe it was loneliness recognizing loneliness. Maybe it was fate's twisted sense of humor. Is anyone sitting here? I asked, holding my tray. She looked up at me with these big brown eyes that seemed too sad for a 13-year-old and shook her head. That was it. That was how it started. We became inseparable almost immediately. We had sleepovers every weekend, shared clothes, finished each other's sentences, all the cliché best friend stuff you see in movies. She was the sister I never had, the person who knew everything about me, every secret, every fear, every dream. We went through everything together. First boyfriends, first heartbreaks, graduation, college applications. When my dad died during our sophomore year of college, Jessica was the one who held me while I cried for hours. When her mom got remarried to that asshole who made her life hell, I was the one who let her move into my apartment rent-free for 8 months. We were each other's person, you know. The kind of friendship people write songs about. Things started changing about 3 years ago when Jessica discovered Instagram. I mean, we'd both had accounts for years, but she became obsessed with it in a way I'd never seen before. She started taking pictures of everything, her coffee, her outfits, her meals, the sky, random street corners. At first, it was kind of funny. I'd tease her about it. Jess, the pasta's getting cold. Can you just eat it? Hold on, the lighting is perfect right now. Babe, can you move your hand? It's in the shot. I should have seen the warning signs then, but I didn't. I thought it was just a phase, something she'd get bored with eventually. I was wrong. Her following started growing. Slowly at first, then faster. 1,000 followers became 5,000, then 10,000, then 50,000. Brands started reaching out to her for sponsorships. She quit her job as a graphic designer to become a full-time influencer, which I thought was insane, but she was making good money, so who was I to judge? This is it, Liv, she told me one night over wine. This is what I'm meant to do. I'm good at this. I'm happy for you, I said, and I meant it. I really did. I was proud of her for finding something she was passionate about, for building something from nothing. But then she started changing. Little things at first. She'd cancel plans last minute because she had a content opportunity. She'd spend our entire dinner on her phone, responding to comments and DMS. She started talking differently, using words like engagement, and reach, and algorithm, like they were the most important things in the world. You should start an account too, she'd say. We could collab. Do best friend content. People love that shit. I don't know, Jess. That's not really my thing. Come on, Liv. It's fun. And you could make money too. Don't you want to quit that soul-sucking office job? I worked as an accountant for a small firm. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable, and I was good at it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. It was just a job, you know. A way to pay rent and save for the future. Maybe someday, I'd say, just to end the conversation. Everything fell apart last year. It started with small things, feeling tired all the time, losing interest in hobbies I used to love, sleeping too much or not at all. I'd wake up and immediately feel this crushing weight on my chest, this voice in my head telling me there was no point in getting out of bed. I thought it was just stress from work. My boss had been riding me hard about a big account we'd landed, and I was working 60-hour weeks trying to keep up. But it got worse. I started having panic attacks in the bathroom at work, hyperventilating into paper towels and splashing cold water on my face, trying to pull myself together. I stopped answering Jessica's calls. I stopped going out. I ordered groceries online because the thought of going to the store and interacting with people made me want to cry. I was drowning, and I didn't know how to ask for help. Jessica noticed, of course she did. She showed up at my apartment one Saturday morning, banging on the door until I answered. "Jesus Christ, Liv, you look terrible," she said when I finally opened the door. I was in the same pajamas I'd been wearing for 3 days. My hair was a mess, and I probably smelled. "Thanks," I muttered. "I'm serious. When's the last time you showered? Or ate real food? What's going on?" I started crying. I couldn't help it. All the emotions I'd been bottling up came pouring out, and I collapsed onto my couch while Jessica sat next to me, rubbing my back. "I don't know what's wrong with me," I sobbed. "I can't do anything. I can't function. Everything feels pointless and heavy, and I just want it to stop." "Okay," Jessica said softly. "Okay, we are going to figure this out. Have you thought about seeing someone? Like a therapist?" "I don't know. Maybe. I think you should. This sounds like depression, babe. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, but you need help." She helped me find a therapist, drove me to my first appointment because I was too anxious to go alone, checked in on me every day. For a while, things felt like they used to between us. She was my best friend again, the person who showed up when I needed her. But then things got weird. Jessica started asking me a lot of questions about my mental health, specific questions about my symptoms, my medication, what my therapist said. At first, I thought she was just being supportive, making sure I was okay. "How are you feeling today?" she'd ask when she called. "Honestly, pretty shitty. I had a panic attack at work yesterday and had to leave early. That must have been so scary." "What was it like? I mean, what does a panic attack feel like for you?" I'd tell her, in detail, because she was my best friend and I trusted her. I told her about the racing heart, the feeling like I couldn't breathe, the overwhelming sense of doom. I told her about the medication side effects, the weight gain, the insomnia, the nausea. I told her about the darkest thoughts I'd had, the ones I was too ashamed to tell anyone else. She'd listen, sympathetic and supportive, and I'd feel better for having someone who understood. Then one day, my cousin Mia texted me. "Hey, is everything okay? I saw Jess's post and wanted to check in." "What post?" I replied. She sent me a screenshot. It was from Jessica's Instagram. A long, heartfelt caption about mental health awareness, about watching someone you love struggle with depression and anxiety, about feeling helpless and scared. It was beautifully written, vulnerable and raw. It was also about me. Everything I'd told her in confidence, every private moment, every struggle, was laid out for her 200,000 followers to consume. She didn't use my name, but anyone who knew us both would know exactly who she was talking about. The post had over 50,000 likes. I called her immediately. "Jessica, what the fuck? What's wrong? What's wrong? You posted about my mental health on Instagram. You told everyone about my panic attacks and my medication and everything I've been going through. Liv, calm down. I didn't use your name. No one knows it's you. Everyone knows it's me. My fucking cousin saw it and texted me to make sure I was okay. You had no right to share that stuff. That was private." "I was trying to raise awareness," Jessica said, her voice getting defensive. "Mental health is important, and if sharing my experience helps even one person. Your experience? Jess, this isn't your experience, it's mine. You're not the one with depression, I am. You don't get to use my trauma for content. You're being really selfish right now. I'm sorry you feel like I violated your privacy, but this post is helping people. I've gotten hundreds of messages from people saying it resonated with them, that it made them feel less alone. I don't give a shit about your messages. Take the post down. Now? No, Jessica said. I'm not going to let you dictate what I can and can't post on my own platform. I'm sorry, Liv, but this is my job. This is what I do. She hung up on me. I stared at my phone in disbelief. This couldn't be happening. My best friend, the person I trusted more than anyone, had just chosen Instagram likes over our friendship, over my privacy, over me. But it got worse. So much worse. Over the next few weeks, Jessica posted more stories about me, thinly veiled as general mental health content. She talked about how hard it was to watch me struggle, how she felt like she was losing me. She posted screenshots of our text conversations, my name blocked out, but the content clear as day. Me talking about wanting to die. Me saying I didn't see the point in living anymore. Me at my absolute lowest, packaged and presented as inspiration porn for her followers. And people ate it up. Her engagement skyrocketed. She gained another 100,000 followers. Brands were throwing money at her for mental health awareness campaigns. She became the face of ending the stigma and being there for your friends. Meanwhile, I was getting messages from acquaintances I hadn't spoken to in years, asking if I was okay, telling me they were there for me if I needed anything. My co-workers started treating me differently, like I was fragile, like I might break at any moment. My boss called me into his office to ask if I needed time off, if I was stable enough to handle my workload. My private hell had become public entertainment, and Jessica was profiting from it. I confronted her one more time, in person. I showed up at her apartment, the one she was now renting in a trendy neighborhood thanks to her influencer money, and demanded she answer the door. Liv, you need to calm down, she said when she saw me. You look unhinged. Take it down, I said. All of it. Every post, every story, everything about me. Take it down or I swear to God. Or what? Jessica crossed her arms. You'll what, Liv? You going to threaten me? I'm going to sue you. For invasion of privacy, for emotional distress, for whatever the fuck I can sue you for. Jessica laughed. Actually laughed in my face. Good luck with that. I never used your name. I never posted pictures of you. I never explicitly identified you. Any lawyer will tell you that you don't have a case. So that's it. You're just going to keep exploiting my mental health for likes and money, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not exploiting you, Jessica said coldly. I'm sharing my truth, my experience. If you have a problem with that, that's on you. Maybe you should talk to your therapist about why you're so upset about me trying to help people. That was when I realized I didn't know this person anymore. The girl I'd met at 13, the one who'd cried on my shoulder about her stepdad, the one who'd helped me plan my dad's funeral, that girl was gone. In her place was someone who saw other people's pain as content, who valued followers over friendship, who would betray anyone for a viral post. We're done, I said quietly. I never want to see you or hear from you again. Fine by me, Jessica shrugged. Honestly, Liv, you've been dragging me down for months anyway. It's exhausting being around someone so negative all the time. I left before I did something I'd regret. I wish I could say that was the end of it, but Jessica kept posting about me for months. Every time I thought she'd moved on to other content, she'd post another checking in on mental health story that was clearly about our ended friendship. She played the victim beautifully, talking about how hard it was to watch a friend spiral and push everyone away, how she tried so hard to help, but sometimes you have to let people go for your own mental health. Her followers ate it up. She was the hero of the story, the good friend who tried her best. I was the villain, the ungrateful mentally ill person who turned on someone trying to help. It destroyed me. I went back to therapy twice a week. I switched medications 3 times trying to find something that worked. I had to take a leave of absence from work because I couldn't function. The depression that Jessica had been so eager to monetize got exponentially worse, and I hit rock bottom in a way I never had before. But hitting rock bottom did something interesting. It made me angry. Not sad, not hopeless, angry. Furiously, rightfully, burn it all down angry. And angry Olivia doesn't just cry and give up. Angry Olivia does research. I started digging into Jessica's influencer career, really digging. I looked at her brand partnerships, her sponsorships, her affiliate links. I read through every contract I could find, every disclosure, every claim she made about products and services. And guess what? Jessica had been lying. A lot. She'd claimed to use products she'd never actually used. She'd posted unfiltered photos that were heavily edited. She'd promoted a mental health app she was being paid to promote without properly disclosing the sponsorship, which is illegal. She'd posted medical advice about depression and anxiety with no qualifications and no disclaimers, which violated the terms of service for several of her partnerships. But the big one, the one that made me smile for the first time in months, was that she'd been inflating her engagement. She'd bought followers. She'd used bots to generate likes and comments. The authentic connection she claimed to have with her audience was as fake as everything else about her. I compiled everything. Screenshots, receipts, contracts, evidence of every lie and violation. It took me 3 months, but I built an airtight case. Then I started reaching out to people. The brands she was partnered with. The Better Business Bureau. The Federal Trade Commission. Instagram's parent company. I sent them everything, professionally formatted with a detailed timeline and explanation of each violation. I also reached out to a few small influencer drama accounts, the ones that exposed influencer scams and problematic behavior. I sent them everything anonymously, and I waited. It took 2 weeks for everything to explode. One of the drama accounts posted a video exposing Jessica's fake engagement, her undisclosed sponsorships, her false product claims. It went viral, like actually viral, millions of views in the first 24 hours. Other accounts picked it up. People started digging into her content and finding more lies, more problematic behavior. Her followers started turning on her, demanding explanations, calling her a fraud. The brands dropped her. Every single one. Some even sent cease and desist letters threatening legal action for breach of contract. Instagram suspended her account for violating their terms of service. The FTC launched an investigation into her undisclosed sponsorships and false advertising claims. Everything she'd built, the career she'd chosen over our friendship, crumbled in less than a week. She called me, crying. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. And again. She sent texts begging me to talk to her, asking if I had anything to do with the expose, promising she'd make it right if I'd just answer the phone. I didn't respond for 3 days. Let her sit with the fear, the uncertainty, the paranoia. Let her feel a fraction of what she'd put me through. When I finally did answer, my voice was calm. Hey Jess. Liv, oh my God, I've been trying to reach you. Everything is falling apart. Someone leaked all this stuff about me and I'm losing everything. My account is suspended, my sponsors dropped me, there's an FTC investigation. I don't know what to do. That's rough, I said. Sounds stressful. Did you have anything to do with this? Why would you think that? Because the timing is suspicious. We have that fight and then suddenly all my dirty laundry gets aired. Come on, Liv. If you did this, you need to tell me. We can fix it. We can explain that there were misunderstandings. Misunderstandings? I laughed. Jess, you bought followers and lied to your audience and broke federal advertising laws. Those aren't misunderstandings. Those are crimes. So it was you. I didn't make you do any of those things. I didn't make you lie or cheat or violate laws. You did that yourself. I just made sure the right people found out about it. How could you do this to me? Jessica's voice broke. I thought we were friends. We were friends, I said. Until you decided that likes and followers were more important than loyalty and trust. You used my mental health crisis for content, Jess. You exploited me when I was at my lowest. You made money off my trauma. And you didn't care how it affected me as long as it benefited you. I was trying to raise awareness. Bullshit. You were trying to go viral. And you did, just not in the way you wanted. Please, Liv. I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry. I know I fucked up. But I'm going to lose everything. I can't afford my rent. I have no income. There's an FTC investigation that could result in fines. I need help. You should talk to your therapist about that, I said, echoing her words from our last fight. Maybe figure out why you're so upset about experiencing consequences for your own actions. I hung up. That was 6 months ago. Jessica's Instagram is still suspended. The FTC fined her $12,000 for the advertising violations. She had to move back in with her mom, the one with the asshole husband she'd been so desperate to get away from. I heard she's working at a coffee shop now, trying to pay off the fine and rebuild her life. I should feel guilty. That's what people keep telling me. My therapist, my mom, my new friends who don't know the full story. They say I went too far, that revenge isn't healthy, that I should have been the bigger person and just moved on. But I don't feel guilty. I feel vindicated. I feel powerful. For the first time in years, I feel like I have control over my own life, my own narrative. Jessica didn't just betray me, she commodified my suffering. She took the darkest period of my life and turned it into a product for public consumption. She made herself the hero of a story that wasn't hers to tell, and she did it without permission, without remorse, without any regard for how it would affect me. So yeah, I destroyed her career. I took away the thing she valued more than our friendship. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. My depression didn't magically disappear after all this. I still have bad days. I'm still in therapy, still on medication, still working on myself. But I'm better now. Stronger. I set boundaries. I protect my privacy. I don't let people use me anymore. I've built a new life without Jessica in it. I have real friends now, people who respect me and don't see me as content. I got promoted at work. I started painting again, something I used to love, but had given up on. I'm even dating someone, a guy I met at a coffee shop, who has no social media presence and thinks influencer culture is kind of dystopian, which I find incredibly attractive. Sometimes I think about Jessica. I wonder if she's happy, if she learned anything, if she regrets what she did. Then I remember that she didn't just use me once, she used me over and over and over again, and she only stopped when I made her stop. She texted me last month. Just 2 words, I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Sorry doesn't give me back my privacy. Sorry doesn't undo the damage. Sorry doesn't make us friends again. Some people think I'm a monster for what I did. Maybe they are right. Maybe destroying someone's career and livelihood makes me a bad person. But I don't think so. I think it makes me someone who refused to be a victim, who fought back against exploitation, who demanded accountability. Jessica wanted to be Instagram famous, wanted to be known for spreading awareness about mental health. Well, now she's infamous. She's known as a cautionary tale about what happens when you prioritize clout over ethics, when you betray the people who trust you for engagement. And me? I'm just Olivia. Not content, not a story, not inspiration porn. Just a person who survived depression and betrayal and came out the other side stronger. Jessica lost everything for Instagram fame. And I'm the one who made sure of it. I'm not sorry. And I never will be.